these protests, these scenes of far-right violence outside the Dáil yesterday. And you might have heard in all of the coverage reference to things like Telegram groups. So Telegram is an online messaging platform. Think of Telegram groups or channels like supercharged WhatsApp groups that might have thousands of people in them. For people who don't know, that's effectively what they are. And for my sins, I've spent a bit of time in two of them today, in Late Stage Ireland and in Irish Patriots. And I would make a number of observations. First of all, I mean, the people who were protesting yesterday were hiding in plain sight. I mean, they were putting up pictures online hours in advance of the gallows and the noose that they had outside the Dáil. They also are absolutely jubilant about what happened. Jubilant about what happened yesterday. It was a success from start to finish. They describe it as a declaration of war by the Irish state against its own people, and this is a war that they long for. So they also claim, actually, and this is worth pointing out, that Michael Healy-Rae encountered peaceful protesters yesterday. Now, let's be honest, Michael Healy-Rae, and you can disagree with his politics all you like, and I disagree with a lot of what he has to say on this show. We have plenty of rows. He and his young intern with him and the Gardaí with him were pushed around by violent racist thugs. That is what happened yesterday, and there's no other way we should be describing it. But back to Telegram and these groups. I mean, they're this toxic stew of conspiracy and paranoia and violent threats and misinformation. They generally believe COVID was a scam. They think you can get alternative treatments to cancer. You know, you don't need to rely on modern medicine. They're rabidly anti-trans. They're anti-Ukraine. They're anti-gay. They're anti-Semitic. One journalist was singled out for criticism because he was, quote, a Jew. The big thing, though, that they all subscribe to, and this gets mentioned over and over and over again, is this great plantation idea. So plantation, that word is used all the time, and planters to describe anybody who is supportive of immigrants in this country. They're planters. And what this is a belief that there's a deliberate attempt to override Irish identity and culture. And it's the Irish version of a bigger theory, the Great Replacement theory. So they've got kindred spirits. The people outside the Dáil yesterday have kindred spirits right across Europe. And they believe that European elites want to replace white Europeans with non-white non-Europeans. Now, nowhere in these groups do you find an explanation as to why European elites want it, but they simply want it. And our politicians are involved in it, opposition parties included, the EU are involved in it, NGOs are involved in it, the UN are involved in it, big pharma is involved in it, the media are involved in it, we here in News Talk obviously involved in it. Obviously everything I'm telling you because big pharma told me to tell you. But the danger this poses is that people like this have always existed, but where before they might have been a lonely guy at the bar who you knew to avoid and not get into a conversation with, they can now find a community, they can coalesce and they can organise. And if they organised yesterday, they'll absolutely organise again. And the most ominous thing I read in all of this today was a suggestion from someone: it is time for us to start acting like a direct threat on the ship of state. So I don't think that's the last time we're going to see this type of behaviour. And it begs the question what we do about it. How do we respond to it from a law enforcement point of view? But how do we reach out to people as well who get sucked in by all of this nonsense and all of this, no, pardon my French, but all of this bullshit? Because that's what it is. Absolute BS from start to finish.